Hello everyone, now we shall continue with Act 1, Scene 3. Shylock has already entered the scene and he is asking Shylock whether he would lend Bassanio the money which he requires. Now line 75, Shylock says, when Jacob graced his uncle Laban's ship, this Jacob from our holy Abram was, as his wise mother wrought in his behalf, the third possessor. He was the third. Now here it is a reference to the Bible. Now this is a story where, now first you have to understand the story before you can actually understand this conversation. See, Abram was the founder of the Jewish race and Isaac was his son and Jacob was the son of Isaac. So the first one is Abram, his son Isaac, and Isaac has actually two sons. The first one, the elder one was Esau, and the younger one was Jacob. Now see, according to tradition, it's always the elder son who becomes the heir. But Jacob's mother, she did a calculative scheme and she made Jacob the heir to his father's property. So when Jacob grazed his uncle Laban's sheep, Uncle Laban was the uncle of Jacob. This Jacob from our holy Abram was. Holy Abram, I told you that he was the founder of the Jewish race. As his wise mother wrought in his behalf, his wise mother refers to Jacob's mother, who had conspired on behalf of Jacob, the third possessor. He was the third in line, because you see the first was Abram, second was his son Isaac, and according to the tradition, the next one should have been Jacob's elder brother Esau. But Jacob's mother played a trick and made Jacob the heir to his father. Now Antonio is shocked. He's confused because he cannot understand why is Shylock mentioning this Jacob here. So he tells him, and what of him? Did he take interest? He says, why are you suddenly talking about Jacob? Was he also taking interest? Shylock, no, not take interest. Not as you would say, directly interest. He says, no, he did not take interest directly. The way you would call it as direct interest. Mark what Jacob did. He says, but just notice what Jacob did. When Laban and himself were compromised, that all the inlings which were streaked and pied should fall as Jacob's hire. Now see, there was an agreement, like Jacob had gone to work under his uncle Laban. Now, Uncle Laban and Jacob had an agreement signed between them, according to which Jacob will not get any cash as the salary. In fact, as a part of his salary, he would get all the newborn lambs who would be streaked and pied. Streaked and pied means they would either be born with spots or stripes. That would be Jacob's. That was a deal that was signed between them. Should fall as Jacob's hire means that all those newborn lambs which will have either spots on them or stripes on them, they would be considered as a part of Jacob's salary. That means they would be given to Jacob. This was a way to thrive. That means this agreement was done between Jacob and his uncle because that was Jacob's way of prospering. But what Jacob did, that he was very clever and he was very, you can say, cunning also, that he positioned the wooden rods in such a way that whenever the new lamb would be born, he would either be born with a spot or stripe. So in this way, he got a large number of lambs and he became very rich. So Shylock is saying, according to Shylock, there was nothing wrong with Jacob did. because that was his way to prosper. And thrift is blessing if men steal it not. And according to him, wealth is a blessing if people do not steal it from someone. That is basically he's trying to say that, like, if you earning your money by hook or by crook, that is not bad, as long as you are not stealing it from someone. But if you are earning it, if you are doing anything to prosper, there is nothing wrong in that. So Antonio says, this was a venture, sir, that Jacob served for. So Antonio is saying that there was nothing which Jacob should be commended for that, because this was a deal which was signed between Jacob and his uncle. A thing not in his power to bring to pass, because this was something which was actually not in Jacob's hand, but swayed and fashioned by the hand of heaven. Means this was something which was designed and done by God. Because whether a sheep would be born with spot or stripes, that is not in anybody's hand. That is the work of destiny. Was this interest inserted to make interest good? He says, are you giving me this reference to show that taking interest is good? Or is your gold and silver eaves and rams? He says, or is your gold and silver like eaves and rams which multiply very fast? Shiloh, I cannot tell. I make it breed as fast, but note me signio. Shiloh say, I cannot say anything about that, but that I can definitely say that I try to grow and multiply my wealth as much as I can. Antonio, mark you this, Bassanio, the devil can cite scripture for his purpose. Now Antonio turns to Bassanio and says, just observe this, Bassanio, that the devil can cite scripture for his purpose. That means a wicked person, a person who is evil-minded, can even use the holy scripture to serve his own purpose. Here the reference is to Shiloh, because just now Shiloh has made a reference to Abram, who was the founder of the Jewish race, and he has given that reference of Laban and Jacob from the Bible. So that is why Antonio is saying that look at him. In order to serve his own purpose, he does not even hesitate to quote from the Holy Scripture. An evil soul producing holy witness means a wicked person who can produce holy witness, means who can quote from the Holy Scriptures, is like a villain with a smiling cheek. That sort of a wicked person who does not even hesitate, who does not feel ashamed to quote the scriptures, to quote from the Holy Scriptures, to satisfy his own needs and to fulfill his own purpose, is just like a villain who has got a devil's mind, but he smiles. He has got a smile on his face. A goodly apple rotten at heart. He is like a apple which looks very attractive from the outside, but it is very rotten from inside. यानी जैसे एक बदमाश आदमी जिसके चेहरे पर हंसी है, वो बिल्कुल एक सड़े हुए एप्पल की तरह, जो बाहर से देखने में बहुत अच्छा है लेकिन अंदर में उसको एकदम, अगर उसको काटो तो बिल्कुल खराब निकलता है. तो वैसे ही एक जो बदमाश आदमी है, वो बाहर से अगर वो मुस्कुरा भी रहा है लेकिन उसके दिल में खोट रहती है. Oh, what a goodly outside falsehood had. It is such a pity that falsehood usually appears to be, that means anything which is, or anyone who is wicked and devil appears to be so good outside. Shiloh, 3,000 ducats, it's a good round sum. 3 months from 12, then let me see the rate. Then Shiloh says, okay, you want 3,000 ducats for 3 months, so let me see the rate. The rate here refers to the rate of interest. Antonio, well, Shiloh, shall we be holding to you? Antonio is getting restless and irritable because he does not want to talk to Shiloh. He just wants to get over with the formalities. He says, don't waste time. Just let me know that shall we expect loan from you or not. Thank you. Please keep watching the video, like, share and subscribe.